Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with a Sabaton reaction. I'm reacting to Sabaton's song Yamato, which here's the description. The Japanese battleship Yamato was the pride of the Imperial Japanese Navy. Conceived in secrecy and commissioned in 1941 as the most powerful battleship ever built, dis- displacing over 70,000 tons at full load and armed with 9 unprecedented 18.1-inch 46 centimeters main guns. Yamato embodied Japan's belief in decisive naval combat. As naval warfare rapidly evolved with the rise of carrier aviation, Yamato was often employed as a fleet flagship, serving as a commanding presence and a symbol of resolve rather than engaging constantly in battles. Her final mission in April 1945, Operation Tengo, reflected the courage and a sense of duty embodied by her crew. Sent to defend Okinawa against overwhelming odds, Yamato fought on despite relentless attacks from American carrier aircraft. After sustaining numerous bombs and torpedo hits, she sank in a massive explosion. So already, this is reminding me a lot of Bismarck. This may be an unfair comparison, but is Yamato basically the Bismarck of the Asian theater or the Asian Pacific theater? Um, I don't know Japanese naval history when it comes to that stuff as much as I do in the European theater, but pride of a nation, pride of the Imperial Navy, and I am honored that Sabaton is doing another song on the Asian theater. They have done other songs on like kind of that more samurai imperial Japanese with Chiyoyama, but I do not remember if Sabaton has done another song on the Imperial Japanese. So it is nice that they are exploring another theater in the war. And let's get right into it. She rests upon the bottom of the sea. Oh, that's cool. The Sabaton on the side of the ship. World of Warship. Isn't that the same company Sabaton used for Bismarck? That is a cool effect. So that was Sabaton's Yamamoto, and once again, I felt like I was watching a war movie because of the amazing quality of this music video. Again, it reminds me a lot of when they did Bismarck. Um, so I am so excited. The lines that stuck to me the most were resist the darkness down below where legends lie. What really got me that is even though I am not well versed in Yamato, I have heard of Yamato. This song, of course, brings her to glory. And I'm sure if you go to Japan, it is more widely known. I don't want to say that it's not widely known here, other than those who study Japanese naval history. Um, but it's like I don't know as much about Yamato as like someone in Japan would. And overall, the song was epic. I loved watching the band, play their epic instruments and like the water flashing over the ship that they were on. Um, and the rain effect, amazing. But what Sabaton does so well is they appear as if they were actually there. The ship was being torpedoed, bombed away, and there's Sabaton singing as if they are honoring those who fought. I loved how the soldiers came up as a water effect. So everyone was down, drowned. I think a lot of them drowned. Um, and the captain, the captain goes down with the ship. And I love how they come back up as water and the sense of pride that Yamato gave to her crew. And I love the effect of there's one scene where the bomb's going away and one of the gunners, you could see like the bombing in his eyes. Very cool effect. And a little bit of a nod of what brought down Imperial Japan, which is the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But with this particular ship, it is massive. And I know it is an unfair comparison. I keep comparing it to Bismarck, but I had to remind myself when I saw the ship. It's like, oh wait, this is not Bismarck. This is the Japanese Yamamoto. Yamamoto. I apologize to anyone who speaks Japanese if I'm mispronouncing how the ship is supposed to be pronounced. It's spelled Yamato, so that's why I'm saying it like that. But the Imperial Japanese were definitely a force to be reckoned with. Even even though they were not meant to be in many battles, the fact that she was in the water shows that Japan knew how to play the game of naval warfare. And I like how Sabaton, goes through the battle, but also gives us the glory of who she was. She, as in the ship, were and the courage of the crew. And as I mentioned earlier, I loved how they looked like they were present, singing about the glory that was Yamato and just her position. Especially the line, she was manned by heroes. Whether or not you agree with Imperial Japan's stance with regards to World War II, yes, they were the Axis powers, the enemies to us in the United States. Just like what they did with Bismarck is they make you nod in acknowledgement. Not so much superiority, but the not so much glory either, but to what Yamato was. That despite this being an enemy ship for the United States, she is still a ship to be respected. And underneath the music video, there are a few lines in Japanese. I'm not sure if that's what the commander was saying. I can't speak Japanese, but translated it says, Yamamoto, respond. This is Yamamoto, over. The operation has begun. I wish you all the best. So I think that's the line that you hear in Japanese when the commander's hearing that over the radio. So I like how Sabaton added that. Um, just because it's bringing you the sense of, you know, what was Yamato and her place within the Imperial Japanese Navy. And whether or not they knew this was their last battle does not take away from the fact of how massive and how crucial Yamato was. And Sabaton allowed the story for her to be a hero and respected, especially with the line, though her guns have gone cold, still her name remains no more pain. No more pain, she will rise again. Um, so even though I've heard she was risen again by the Russians, I cannot confirm or deny whether or not Yamato remains on the bottom of the ocean or if she was risen again. But even though she has sunk, her name is still a legend in history. And Sabaton did a great nod of respect towards both the Imperial Japanese, which again, even though they were an ally to some countries but an enemy to others, the courage of the crew of Yamato, Yam, Yamato, I keep saying Yamato, um, Yamato, the ship itself, is a change in history, a historic change. I actually want to watch out to see if there is a like behind the history of this ship because I'm interested in it. And I love how when Joachim sings, he never tries to overpower the sound in the background. You can hear him, and then a few scenes where you can hear the audio of the battle behind him. He doesn't try to overpower it, which I think is a very interesting choice that it doesn't seem like he's fighting. Again, kind of the more, if he was actually on the ship singing during a battle, what would it sound like? Um, Sabaton does a great job of that, of never trying to sound louder than what the background is. They did the same thing with Bismarck. And yeah, so overall, it was a great video. I had a little trouble actually hearing Joachim at a couple of times. But that could have just been my headset. But I love the guitar solo, and I love how the music was not overpowering either. I know sometimes with like music videos like that, they turn up the volume of the music so that you could hear it over what is in the background. But epic guitar solo as usual. And again, I love the ending where you can see the band trying to hold on to a ship that is, I believe the term is capsizing. She capsized and then she went down. Anybody who is more well versed in Yamato and what actually how she went down, like whether she capsized, she was torpedoed, but whether she capsized and then went down, like went sideways, or she capsized and then the water turned her around. This is the best way I can put it. Um, but a great nod. I love the little credits they have, and I love that special effect of Sabaton in the fire of what destroyed Yamato. That was just a cool effect. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope everyone has a great day.